spooks, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. So today I'm going to be showing you how you can achieve this other mother makeup look from the movie Coraline. Now if you saw my tutorial yesterday, I did the makeup look for Coraline, which is the title character in her movie, and then I knew the moment I was going to do Coraline that I had to do the other mother as well and really tackle this character. I know there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube where it's either a body paint or just a face paint or something, or it's kind of a inspiration of other mother, or it's the human version of other mother, and so I definitely wanted to challenge myself with this look to make it look as realistic to the claymation as possible. So that includes the prosthetic nose, the realistic button eyes, and the pointed wig. Anyways, with all that being said, if you guys are interested in achieving this other mother makeup look, then just keep watching. Hey guys, so to get started, we are going to be making our prosthetic nose on our life cast. So to start off, you're going to be wanting to apply some Vaseline all over the life cast head to make it easier to remove. We're then going to be stippling on a thin layer of liquid latex onto the nose area. This is going to create thin edges, so it's going to be easier to blend the nose piece into our skin and look more realistic. We're then going to be dipping a piece of a cotton ball into some liquid latex and applying that right onto the nose and smoothing it out with more liquid latex until we start to see our desired shape for the other mother's nose. We're going to be using our forefingers to bring that into a point at the edge of our nose and slowly bring it out so it starts to hang over the mouth area. The cotton ball and the liquid latex is going to add enough structure to this so that it's going to stick straight up and we don't have to worry about it starting to fall off of the actual life cast nose. You're going to want to be making sure to smooth this out as you go by just dipping your finger into some liquid latex and smoothing out the edges so that you don't have any rough edges when you start to continue to apply more cotton balls and more latex over top, because then the prosthetic can start to collapse on itself. You're also going to want to make sure that you're building up the sides of the nose as well and the forehead piece so that you don't have just the top and that it is blended down the side of your natural nose as well. My last step in the sculpting process is to continuously dip my finger into the liquid latex and try to smooth out the prosthetic as much as possible. Being that we didn't sculpt this out of clay and then apply foam latex on top of it, this isn't going to be perfect. You are going to have a few ridges, but that's okay for other mother, being that she has cracks all over her face. We will be able to easily cover up some of these imperfections. Once that has dried, you're just going to be applying baby powder all over the prosthetic and lightly lifting up one end of the prosthetic and applying baby powder underneath and slowly lifting the prosthetic off of the life cast while continuously applying baby powder as you lift to make sure that the other side will be powdered as well. Next, I will be showing you guys how you can style the other mother's spidery wig. So for this, we're going to be cutting off the end of a soda bottle and taking a solid black wig cap. We are going to be sticking in the soda bottle into the wig cap and tucking in the extra pieces inside of the plastic bottle. You're then going to be taking a bobby pin and sticking it on one side of the plastic bottle, turning it around and doing the exact same thing on the opposite side. You're then going to be putting on your wig cap, and for this you do need the netted wig cap that has holes in it. You're then going to be taking out one of the bobby pins from one side of the bottle, sticking it under your netted wig cap, and sticking it in through the plastic bottle right where it was before. You're then going to be securing it on the other side as well. You're then going to quickly brush out your wig just to make sure that there aren't any tangles to make this easier later on, before starting at the very back of your head, lightly being careful to bring it over the tip in the back of your head, bringing it towards your forehead, and then going back to the back of the wig and tucking it into the back of your head. Now, something to keep in mind is this wig is not going to cover the entire back of your head now, because you do have an obstacle that is taking up space. So you may possibly see your wig cap and your hair from certain angles, but thankfully for me, I have dark hair, so that won't be too much of a problem. Since this wig does not have clips, I'm going to be simply bobby pinning the back of the wig into my hair in the back just to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere while I'm filming. I'm also going to be doing the exact same thing to the other side of the hair before beginning to style it. You want to go ahead and brush it out if it is completely secure on your head, and now we're going to make it stay in place. I'm simply just going to be taking some hairspray and spraying the edges of the hair to make sure that it stays out of my face for the entirety of the shoot. And that is the completed style of this other mother wig, and I will also leave the wig I used linked down below for you guys so you can check it out if this is one that you really like. Moving on to makeup, I'm going to be starting off by blocking out my eyebrows. So I'm going to be brushing my eyebrow hairs upwards before taking my Elmer's washable glue stick and completely covering my eyebrows and waiting a little bit for them to get tacky before taking this spoolie again and brushing the hairs up one more time flat up against my forehead. You're then going to be taking your Airspun translucent powder and a sponge and setting your brows before continually applying a glue stick over them one more time, once again waiting for them to get tacky, brushing the hairs upwards and setting them again with your Airspun translucent powder. And of course, you're going to be doing that one more time just to completely seal this, and instead of using a spoolie this third time, I'm actually going to be using a palette spatula just to make sure it is as flat as possible before finishing it up by sealing it. I'm then going to be moving on to applying the prosthetic, so I'm just going to be taking my Ben Nye Spirit Gum, applying that onto my nose before waiting a little bit and taking a piece of pantyhose, and you're just going to be stippling this onto your face just to make sure it is tacky before applying the prosthetic. And I do personally apply a little bit of Spirit Gum into the prosthetic as well, just so it gives it something to cling to before pressing it against my face and trying to smooth out all of the edges. We're then going to be making some Bondo by taking Capicil and Prosthetic and applying that to the edges that aren't as thin as I would like them to be, and just using a little bit and waiting for it to dry so that we have a nice ramp up to the prosthetic so it looks smooth and boom, yeah, edges are beautiful. We're then going to be taking our ColourPop No Filter Concealer in white and just applying that all over our eyebrows because I wanted the eyebrow area to definitely be opaque, being that I have dark eyebrows. I didn't want them to shine through the makeup at all for this look. I'm going to start off by lightly blending this upwards onto my forehead before taking my Madalyn Paradise paint in white for the rest of the white makeup. I'm going to be applying this onto the forehead, making sure to make it as opaque as possible before taking a smaller, finer brush to outline the area of her spider skull. This is what gives the illusion that she looks a lot thinner and spidery, so I definitely went back a few times to make it even smaller because you definitely want to give the illusion that you have a very chiseled face and that your skull is quite smaller than your real human skull. And now I'm just currently filling in the rest of the spider skull with the white body paint, once again making sure to build up the layers to make this look as opaque as possible. I'm then going to be taking my Madalyn Paradise paint in black and outlining the area of her spider skull just to make this look as sharp and defined as possible before moving on to filling in that open area of skin to really give off the illusion that her head is this small. I'm then going back and just applying white body paint all over the eye area just so it will blend in whenever we apply the buttons over top so you won't see our real eyes. Next, we're going to be taking our baby powder on a brush and making sure to set the eye area so it doesn't crease, and you also want to make sure to set the white makeup all over your face with baby powder as well. Going back to our Madalyn Paradise paint in black, I'm going to be creating the eyebrows. So for this, I'm just going to be holding up the button to the area that I'm likely going to be applying it and just sketching out the eyebrows for this and making sure to thicken them up and make them look creepy and evil. This is where it's definitely helpful to have a reference photo on hand, being that we're going to be making this other mother look as close to the actual character as possible. So as you can see, I'm going to be holding up my phone in the mirror so I can replicate the cracks as the character has them. I actually recommend having a thinner brush for this. As you can see, I started off with a thicker brush and it just makes the cracks look a little bit bolder, more cartoonish, and not as realistic. So moving on to the thinner brush is definitely a better option. And I also recommend being open to the idea of making your cracks different sizes in the sense of starting off with a thin line, making it thicker, and then thinner again, just so that it can look realistic as if it is actually breaking. And since you are following the pattern exactly, this may take a while because you are trying to perfect the pattern and make sure it looks exactly like her, but this is also where you can take creative liberty and honestly just draw cracks wherever you want. It's completely up to you guys. I'm going to be taking my Maybelline Lasting Drama eyeliner in sleek black and just outlining my lips with this and making sure to smile like she smiles and extending the lip upwards so whenever I smile, I have these huge creepy lips for a huge creepy smile. I'm then going to be filling in my lips with my Kat Von D liquid lipstick in Witches and making sure to bring that up into the inner corner of the lips as well, just to make sure that you are fully extending that smile. In the reference photo, you only see 3 cracks on the chin, so I'm just going to be applying that right around the mouth area. Moving on to my Lorac Mega Pro 3 palette, I'm going to be taking Mist in Jet Black and taking it on a small shading brush. I'm going to be applying this around the cracks. This is really going to help the makeup look more three-dimensional and like your face is cracked. So this is going to be bringing out the highlights of the cracks because you're going to be having a tiny line of white body paint in between the shadow and the painted line. So that's going to make it look like the crack is actually sinking and caving into your skin. You're going to want to make sure you apply a little bit of the eyeshadow on the edges of her skull as well, just to make it look more three-dimensional, and you're also going to be applying some right under her cheekbones to help really bring out her jaw. I'm going to once again be holding up the buttons up to my eyes and creating a shadow right above the buttons to once again make it look like the buttons will be popping out of our head. We're then going to be going back into our Marion Paradise paint in black, and we're going to be moving down onto the chest. So I'm starting off by outlining the areas of our skeletal bones on our chest. So I'm just doing a simple basic structure of basically creating triangles where my vertebrae would be. We're then going to be applying a little bit of black body paint inside of our bones, just so that this is going to be creating a light shadow. So whenever we go over this with our white body paint, it is automatically going to be creating the shading on the bones for us. I'm then going to be creating her dress. So for this, I'm just going to be cutting off pieces of our vertebrae and making the sleeves of her dress and making sure to go ahead and fill those in. Next, I'm going to be taking my black body paint and creating really skinny arms for her bones because we obviously don't want to have her arms be as thick as our arms, so I'm just going to be cutting it in half and making some skeletal bones for her. Moving back over to our white body paint, we're then going to be creating the outline of the dress. I'm just lightly applying this right over the black to highlight the areas of where the dress is going to end. And as simple as it is, this makes a huge difference in cutting off the area of the dress and kind of creating a seam for it. As you can see, I'm now creating the little diamond patterns on her dress. And to be honest, I didn't really care that much about this part. I'm just outlining the areas of the diamonds, and I'm going to be lightly filling it in later because I don't have a problem with this looking a little bit more abstract. So now, as you can see, I'm just brushing the white body paint over the black, and it automatically creates some nice shadows on those bones for us. We're then going to be going back into the black body paint and just filling in all of the areas that you still see our exposed skin. You're then going to be applying a little bit of the black body paint on the inner part of the skeletal arms before going over that negative space with the white body paint so we can create our nice, beautiful, pearly white child snatchers. I'm then going to be lightly filling in the rest of the diamonds just to make them look a little bit more abstract and more completed. Moving on to the teeth, you want to start off by drying off the top teeth for about a minute before taking your PPI Fleet Street Tooth Lacquer palette, taking black and mixing it with a little bit of your 99% alcohol and just applying that to the very bottom of your teeth to not only make them look stubbier but also make them look uneven and sharp. You're then going to be waiting with your mouth open for about another minute and making sure to try and help dry that with a hand fan or a hair dryer. Trust me, you guys do not want to get any of the 99% alcohol in your mouth because don't worry, once this dries, it completely dries and there shouldn't be any leftover alcohol, but that is why it is very important for you to wait because otherwise you're going to be gagging and spitting everything out because it is absolutely disgusting. And we are now moving on to the button. So for this, you're going to be applying a little bit of your spirit gum onto both the button and the brow bone area. And once you have waited for it to get tacky, you're then going to press the button onto your brow bone and hold it there for about a minute because trust me, if you remove the button before at least a minute has gone by and it has fully adhered, the button will fall off. So you definitely want to make sure to hold it on there until it feels secure before moving on to the other eye. And that is the completed look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new Halloween makeup look every weekday for the month of October and a spoopy Saturday every Saturday. So with all of that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye! They're like mini punching bags. Like, ugh. I kind of look like the doctor from Nightmare Before Christmas right now. Just like, Sally! 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 Oh my god. Hi, sorry, we're closed. Please come again. Thank you. Bye.